On September 4, 2025, every major gaming storefront on the planet broke simultaneously. Steam, PlayStation Store, Nintendo eShop, Xbox Marketplace, all of them down. Not from a cyber attack, not from a server misconfiguration, from a tiny 3-person studio in Adelaide, Australia, releasing a $20 indie game about a bug with a needle. 500,000 concurrent players on Steam alone in a single day. That's the 18th highest concurrent player count in Steam's entire history. And this was a 2D single-player platformer, not a free multiplayer game with a celebrity streamer deal. And here's the thing that makes all of this insane. In less than 7 days from launch, Silksong had over 3 million copies sold, $50 million in revenue, and 5 million active players across all platforms, over 8 times the player count of the original game. We need to talk about how this happened, because nothing about the story makes sense. And yet, somehow, all of it makes complete sense.
To understand Silksong, you have to understand what Hollow Knight was first, and Hollow Knight's origin story is one of the wildest in gaming. Ari Gibson, William Pellin, and Jack Vine, a 3-man studio in Adelaide, South Australia, formed Team Cherry out of a mutual love of classic adventure games like Zelda 2 and Faxonadu. Hollow Knight actually started as a game jam project at Ludum Dare 2013, where Ari Gibson and William Pellin built a prototype called Hungry Knight with a character that would eventually become the Knight. They kept working on it, kept building, and in 2014 they did a Kickstarter. Their goal? About AU $35,000. Within the last few days of the campaign, backers pushed them past that goal and into their stretch goals. The campaign ultimately raised AU $57,118 from 2,062 backers. Not millions, not a publishing deal, 57,000 Australian dollars and 2,000 people who believed in them. Hollow Knight came out in 2017, and it wasn't an overnight sensation. It was a slow burn, one of those games that people discovered through word of mouth, through a friend saying, "Just trust me, play this." And then it kept growing and growing. By the time Silksong launched, the original Hollow Knight had sold over 15 million copies worldwide, from a $35,000 Kickstarter, from 3 people in Adelaide. Now here's where the Silksong story actually starts, because Silksong was never supposed to be a full game.
One of the Kickstarter stretch goals for Hollow Knight was a second playable character, Hornet. She's this fast, aggressive, needle-wielding fighter who appears in the first game as a recurring boss. Fan favorite. People loved her. Team Cherry had been quietly working on a Hornet DLC, a smaller expansion to Hollow Knight, paid content, a bonus chapter. That was the plan. And then the plan fell apart in the best possible way. The core problem was technical first. Hornet is a fundamentally different character to the Knight. She's taller, faster, more acrobatic. The existing maps of Hallownest felt too small and compressed for her movement style. So they started building new spaces for her, and those spaces got bigger, and the ideas got bigger. Co-founder Ari Gibson described the project in a 2019 blog post as too large and too unique to be confined to a DLC. William Pellin admitted it plainly. It was going to rival the scale of Hollow Knight, or probably exceed it. So on Valentine's Day 2019, which yes, the date was intentional, Team Cherry announced that the Hornet DLC was dead, and in its place was a full standalone sequel, Hollow Knight Silksong, New Kingdom called Pharloom. Unlike many studios that balloon in size to meet bigger ambitions, Team Cherry chose to remain small. The core team, Gibson, Pellin, programmer Jack Vine, and composer Christopher Larkin, expanded only with a few contractors for testing and additional programming. A handful of people, building one of the most anticipated games on the planet.
Okay, let's talk about the wait. Because between 2019 and 2025, Hollow Knight Silksong became something genuinely unique in gaming culture. It became a meme. Not in a disrespectful way, in a "we love this so much it's making us insane" way. Fans started putting on clown makeup and wigs literally every time a Nintendo Direct or Xbox Showcase failed to bring Silksong news. People theorized based on chocolate cake recipes on Team Cherry's social media. Every time Jeff Keighley so much as blinked near a camera before the Game Awards, the Silksong subreddit went into full conspiracy mode. It's Silksong. It became a meme shorthand for the thing I desperately want but can't have. Team Cherry initially planned to release the game in the first half of 2023. That didn't happen. Later that year, their head of marketing confirmed development was continuing and the scope required more time. No details, no footage. Just, it's still real. Trust us. And people did, because the original game had earned that trust completely. Then, in August 2025, at Gamescom Opening Night Live, completely without warning, a trailer dropped. Team Cherry put out a special release date announcement confirming Silksong was definitely coming in 2025, and then followed up with a full release date, September 4, 2025. 2 weeks away. 2 weeks after 6 years of waiting. 2 weeks notice. No pre-orders, no preload. Just, it's coming, September 4th, go. The internet lost its mind.
Okay, let's talk about the wait. Because between 2019 and 2025, Hollow Knight Silksong became something genuinely unique in gaming culture. It became a meme. Not in a disrespectful way, in a "we love this so much, it's making us insane" way. Fans started putting on clown makeup and wigs, literally, every time a Nintendo Direct or Xbox Showcase failed to bring Silksong news. People theorized based on chocolate cake recipes on Team Cherry's social media. Every time Jeff Keighley so much as blinked near a camera before the Game Awards, the Silksong subreddit went into full conspiracy mode. It's Silksong. It became a meme shorthand for the thing I desperately want but can't have. Team Cherry initially planned to release the game in the first half of 2023. That didn't happen. Later that year, their head of marketing confirmed development was continuing and the scope required more time. No details, no footage, just, it's still real. Trust us. And people did, because the original game had earned that trust completely. Then in August 2025, at Gamescom Opening Night Live, completely without warning, a trailer dropped. Team Cherry put out a special release date announcement confirming Silksong was definitely coming in 2025, and then followed up with a full release date, September 4th, 2025. 2 weeks away. 2 weeks after 6 years of waiting. 2 weeks notice, no pre-orders, no preload, just it's coming, September 4th, go. The internet lost its mind.
So what did Team Cherry actually build in those 6 years? Silksong takes place in the new kingdom of Pharloom, ruled by Silk and Song. You play as Hornet, Princess Protector of Hollow Nest, who has been captured and taken to this unfamiliar world. Your whole journey is a dangerous pilgrimage to the kingdom's peak, battling foes and uncovering ancient mysteries along the way. Where the knight was slow, heavy, methodical, Hornet is fast, acrobatic, aggressive. She has silk attacks, ledge crabs, sprinting. The combat rewards proactive play instead of patient defense. It's the same DNA, totally different feel. The game has over 40 legendary bosses and 200 enemies. For context, the original Hollow Knight, the game that became one of the most beloved Metroidvanias of all time, had around 40 bosses total over its entire lifespan, including all DLC. Silksong ships with that many from the start. Co-founders Gibson and Palin said they approached Silksong's development with the same philosophy that shaped the first game, valuing experimentation, iteration, and letting ideas expand naturally. That philosophy is why it took 6 years, and it's why it's what it is.
Team Cherry made a specific choice before launch. No early review copies. 0. They'd promised their Kickstarter backers they'd play the same game everyone else did on day one, so press got access when players did. That meant early reviews trickled out slowly, and when they did, Silksong debuted on Metacritic with a perfect 100 score, unprecedented in gaming history, before settling to a 93 as more reviews came in. Game Reactor called it a masterpiece, simply put, noting it was only their 4th perfect score in nearly a decade of reviewing games. One outlet wrote, "There has never been a Metroidvania so vast in content and so profound in its systems, nor one that marries such sheer scale with such painstaking artistry." And user reviews? Steam hit 91% very positive across 56,000 reviews. Metacritic user score at 9.1 out of 10. Team Cherry said in their end-of-year blog post that over 7 million players had purchased the game, alongside millions more on Xbox Game Pass. They called it a truly staggering number, more than we could have ever expected, enough to crash all of the storefronts. They said it themselves, more than we could have ever expected, from 3 people in Adelaide.
Here's why I think Silksong might be the greatest indie game ever made. Not just because of the scores, not just because of the sales. It's because of what it represents. A 3-person team looked at a failed Kickstarter stretch goal DLC and said, this is too big to be small, so let's make it massive. They spent 6 years saying almost nothing publicly. In an era where every studio is tweeting daily content updates and holding quarterly investor calls, Team Cherry went quiet and just built. While the internet descended into meme madness outside, they were in Adelaide making something they were actually proud of. One critic put it best. Team Cherry has created an adventure for posterity that excels in everything and languishes in nothing, ultimately making a statement in an industry whose blockbusters could only dream of achieving such a level of divinity. A $20 game, 3 people in Australia, no publisher, no marketing budget to speak of, and they crashed Steam, PSN, Xbox, and the Nintendo eShop simultaneously on launch day, something no game has done before them. That's not just a great indie game. That's proof that the size of a team and the size of a budget have absolutely nothing to do with the size of what you can create. Drop a comment. Did you survive the storefront crashes on launch day? And if you haven't played the original Hollow Knight yet, fix that immediately. I'll see you there.